Hey Scrap fans, it's Patrice and Keith with Cropsy Turvy, www.cropsyturvy.com, and today we are together, which we aren't usually together when we do our videos. Today we're together. Yay. And we're going to do a demonstration on the new fabulous Tim Holtz Distress Markers that are brand new from CHA 2012. But anyway, we've got the new markers. We're super excited about them, so we wanted to put a video up to give you guys an idea of what you can do with them. We're also going to be demoing the specialty stamping paper, and we're going to be using the ATC size, and that is from Ink Essentials through Ranger. And wait till you guys see the stamp quality on this paper. Your mind's going to be blown. And then we're also going to show you the watercolor markers, the wide, I'm not sure what the exact terminology is, but there's the wide brush and then there's the fine point. And the awesomeness of the fine point is that it's a plastic point, so it's not going to break down or fray like a felt tip pen or marker would.
So, first thing, let's play with the specialty stamping artist trading card kind of things. They're coated cards, so they're coated on both sides. So when you mess up on this side, like I usually do, then you can turn it over and you can use the back. One of the nicest things about these cards, they're just crazy to stamp with. I mean, the quality of the image is like nothing I've ever seen. And that's not just me raving about Ranger products. I mean, it truly is. So we've got our archival black, and we're stamping it on our, I don't know, cool psychedelic circly things that I don't remember the name of.
Retro Grunge palette?
Oh, sure.
I think that's the name of the set.
Keith, not good with names.
Wow, look at that.
And that's really, really vibrant on there.
And seriously, guys, the camera's not doing it justice with how just crisp this is.
So the only thing about this is it is such nice quality. The ink tends to stay wet for just a little bit longer, so you'll want to give it just a little while before you start coloring with it, or you'll want to zap it with your heat gun. So right away you can just use your tiny little nibs here on this one end for really great control. Very, very small, really, really easy to control and to get in those small lines. And then there's also a brush tip for these bigger spaces. Like so. So, I mean, you could color right on images. And, I mean, just imagine with some of those really detailed stamps that we have, what you could do with those. You could color those in really well. Now, if you want a watercolor effect, of course, this is the watercolor brush. You open it like so, and you just stick this end in water, and then you push on this and allow it to fill up. And so the water collects in this little inkwell kind of thing. And another really nice thing about these, I've had, I mean, I can't even explain how many different brushes I've had, and a lot of them glop water when you don't want them to. I have not had, this is always dispensing just the right amount of water. I mean, I don't even have to push down on this, but if you wanted more water, you just push in on this and it puts more water in the brush.
That is really controlled.
But so I don't even have to, it just dispenses water for me. So this color, because it reacts to water, because it's one of the distress lines, it wicks out the color. So if you want a softer look, and I'm just taking, after each color, I'm just kind of rubbing it on the back of my hand, just to get that color off for when I switch to a new color, or if I have a little too much water. So another way that you can use it is to pick up water from your craft mat. So we'll put a little bit of the dried marigold on here, and I can pick that up with my superfine brush and color it in like so, and that gives me a nice soft look. we can use the markers that way. And we can also color the markers. So I'm just going to clean off this stamp here. Just with a baby wipe.
So what would happen if you color that whole image in and then you decide you don't like the white background?
What?
You stamp this image, okay, and you like the way you colored it all in, you like the way it looks, but your project calls for something that's not so stark white.
Oh, well, thanks, Patrice. You can actually ink on this as well. You can put a background ink on this. And these cards really take the ink very nicely. Obviously, the manila tags and everything else that we use, usually, I mean, they take the ink nicely too. They create a more mottled looking background, and these will provide a really, really smooth background. And when you put this on, the markers will resist this color. So if we put, what is this? This is frayed burlap, and we're going to ink it on. And first, you can see how this is really, really clear. Like it's just blending and not looking mottled at all. Which, don't get me wrong, I really like the mottled look. This is just a totally different look because it takes the ink so nicely.
Don't do that. Wait. Do you have a more vibrant, like, do like a dark blue in that circle, in that center circle. So
don't boss me.
I want them to see how the color stays true, even the marker colors resist the distressing. Now she inked right over that blue.
And you see the blue is still really, really vibrant.
And the blue maintains its color. I think that's super awesome.
So do I. So you can then ink over any of these and you'll still have the colors there. Whereas if you used another kind of ink, it would probably, everything would turn brown pretty much. So inking, coloring with the markers is again very, very easy, and you can be very, very controlled if you want. So with these, you can color right on the you can color with the markers right on the stamp. And you can be as precise or as not imprecise as you want. Is imprecise a word? As not precise?
Unprecise. I don't know.
And with these markers, the nice thing is you can go from light to dark, or you can go from dark to light, because you are not going to contaminate your markers. And then you just press it down. And there's all those colors. And you see where we put blue. I mean, we can go in on top of colors and blend colors.
Let's pull that up closer. Look at that. That is fun.
Now, and we're fine just like that. But if we didn't want this white in between and we didn't want to ink over it, we could take our watercolor brush and wick out the color even more. So we could basically color in with those.
Aha! There's a one. There's a one.
Like so.
It's a all one. Come on. For me.
And Megan and the dog are going on an adventure. Goodbye, Casey and Megan. Dun dun dun.
That's so cool.
So we wicked out the colors there. And there's a nice little watercolor kind of effect.
And you don't lose that. You don't lose the detail. Oh, there we go.
Eat apple.
It just really blends it.
Eat apple.
Okay, go eat an apple. Now, along with all the 36 colors that come in all the distress colors, the distress pad colors, we also have my favorite, the picket fence marker, because it's white. So, ooh, do we have any black cardstock?
Sure.
It writes really, really nicely on black, first off.
What do we have?
So, as it dries,
Ooh,
it
that was
turns
like
white.
magic.
I know, it's magic. And the more coats you put on, the more opaque it becomes. So if you wanted it to be a really dark white, you just keep adding on top of it.
That's so fun.
Dun, dun, dun. So, it can be just a nice journaling pen. Like so. I like to highlight with the white. So I can do that once my coloring is dried. So you don't want to do it while the ink is wet, but once it's dried, I can put that in various places and it'll have that opaque look. And then if I want like a creamier kind of white, I can take my watercolor pen again and bring all that white and just kind of blend it in. Now, and then another thing that we didn't say actually about this, these artist trading cards or the paper, it's also available in 8.5 by 11 sheets. If you put water on it, like so, it will take the color off and reveal the white underneath. So like I did it with like little dots, and once it dries it'll be like a whiter color. But I mean, you could also just sprinkle water. Not like that because it doesn't really come out, but with like your spritzer. Oh, there we go. So you can see, and we could like move them all around just like, you know, with the regular stuff, because like what Tim does, because all this distress reacts to the water really nicely.
Do it close
Oh,
up.
I'm sorry. There you go, camera. Excuse me. And then one other little thing that I was just kind of playing around with and really liked that I did on accident was I put a little bit of brown on my craft mat and a little bit of water. And I mix the two of them up. Let's see if you can see it on here because this is a little blue. And then I kind of tapped my brush and I make little distress dots. So that's a really neat kind of like little background modeled effect if you'd want to do something like that. So see, this is another instance of just playing around and you can find something new that you like. Like, I think that's just cool. I like, here, let's do it on white. And you can make it as dark or as light, or I could have made these blue dots or orange. If you can see that. So that's like, it almost looks like if you used to use those air brushes with your markers.
Yeah.
It almost kind of takes on that kind of effect. So I think that's pretty cool.
I'm gonna try picking it up here, but it looks cool in person.
So, and I'm sure we will discover lots of other cool ways to use these markers. But those are the kind of things that Tim has shown us, and I'm sure he will be showing us more and more. But that is why we love these markers.
So that was Patrice and Keith with Cropsy Turvy showing you the new Tim Holtz Distress Markers. Until next time, happy scrapping!
Yay!